Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Brigade. And I'm your host, Brian Greer. Today on the show, we're taking a look at Aeons End Legacy of Gravehold. It's the newest Legacy campaign game for Aeons End, and I'm excited to take a look at it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and fade on in. As a reminder, before we get too far into this, I want to let you guys know that we still have our giveaway going on for Oathsworn, the $99 pledge level. To be entered into that giveaway, you must be a public subscriber, so make sure you change your settings up here somewhere to change your settings from private to public if they aren't already. And then make sure you leave a comment down below. Following the comment guidelines, we'll follow that later, as well as hit that like button. Okay, Aeons End Legacy of Gravehold. Should you back it? Is it worth backing? So this is one that without getting too far in, let's do the standard stuff. We're currently on day 15 with 2,600 backers at $291,000 pledged. So congrats to these guys. So Aeons End is a boss battler game, cooperative 1 to 4 players, deck building game with its unique mechanic of, instead of when you're playing your cards, instead of taking your discard pile and reshuffling them back up, you actually take that discard pile and you'll turn it over, and that becomes your new draw pile. So the order of the cards that you play matters, because you are effectively creating the new draw pile, as you go. So, and then the cards will also have a lot of interactivity together, and you're trying to set up certain combos. So you want to make sure you're playing things in a certain order. That is Aeon's End, like, in a nutshell, in terms of what it does. But at the same time, you're also going to be, battling bosses. And the Legacy version has a story that you're going to be completing. I have not played Aeon's End, and I've watched the last 2 Kickstarters go, and every time I'm like right there, ready to back it. And there's reasons I don't, and it's because me as a collector and me as a board game enthusiast, I like to have everything. And so when I'm looking at these pledge levels, I'm like, well, I need the original game, I need the Wars expansion, I need this expansion, I need all these little add-ons. And all of a sudden you're looking at a $500 shipping total, and you're like, ugh, So I haven't gotten in. I've wanted to get in. I really want to play this system. Deck builders are probably one of my top in terms of like enjoyment, in terms of games that I really, really enjoy. I feel like there's a lot of strategy in deck building games. Even Dominion, old deck building game, love it. I think it's because it was made for me, because I used to be a Magic the Gathering player. So I think Dominion's like the perfect intro game to board gaming. So let's talk about this one, though. This is going to be the culmination of the Legacy game, where they're going to be finishing the story, and it's basically like almost like 2 versions of the Legacy game. It's a lot of content. You're going to be having 2 separate paths that you're going to be completing. So at the beginning of the Legacy event, you're going to actually choose who do you want to, like, what story path you want to take, which is going to be changing entirely the gameplay, which is going to actually, I think, in my opinion, require a reset pack, because this is a Legacy game. So there's going to be elements where you're either destroying cards or altering cards in some way. So you're going to have to have a reset pack if you want to play the other side of the campaign as well. I've watched a few content on this one. Rahdo is very, very high on this in terms of, his hype level is high, but his hype level is always high. I mean, let's be serious. But if you want to know more about how the game works, I recommend watching Rahdo. Also, Dice Tower has a very solid review from a while ago where they gave it their seal of excellence. So if you want to know more, if this is like, hey, this kind of seems interesting, recommend watching those and making sure the gameplay is what you're looking for, because we're not going to cover much more into gameplay other than that. What we are going to do is going to break it down right here into what is inside the box, and we're also going to break down what the waves are, because they're a little different in terms of how they do their boxes. So what's inside? For $79, the KS price, you have the Legacy of Gravehold box. You're also going to get this Lost Ruins expansion. And then you're going to kind of break down what those include. So you're going to have the 21 envelopes. You're going to have the 13 nemesis mats. This is the bosses. The 21 mage maps. Over 900 cards. Plenty of content. The world map. Always love to have those in Legacy games. A lot of content. These are the books. So you have the Azer narrative book or the Gravehold narrative book. So this is what you're going to do when you select in the beginning. The decision path will alter basically the storyline of how you're going to complete it. Now, I have been told that there are even multiple ways to complete bosses, and it could change the narrative or how cards can respond. And there's a push your luck system involved in this. So there's definitely a lot of stuff exciting about this. So the milestone expansion, the runes expansion is composed entirely of milestone cards and is included in every pledge level. And then they want to make sure they're breaking us down and letting us know that there are differences here between Kickstarter exclusives as well as promo. Promo cards always mean that they can come up for resale later or through affiliate marketing programs. Kickstarter exclusive means that only backers of Kickstarter will be getting these. So we can take a look at that. So right now, they only have one Kickstarter exclusive, but they have some promos here that you can take a look at. The Kickstarter exclusive is this one right down here, and all the others are promos. Now, I have, obviously I said this, I haven't dived into this platform or this game franchise yet, but I have a friend, Robin, who has, and she says that the promos are nearly impossible to get after the game is released. So if you're a person who likes to buy it retail and you're thinking, well, I'll just pick up those promos later because they're going to be available, she tells me that they're pretty hard to find. So with that, I want to make sure people are taking into consideration that is it worth it value in your head. Okay, so you got a lot of promos here. You got a few that are going to be unlocked anyways, and a few that are Kickstarter exclusive. This will be included in the base game regardless of how you buy it. So here's the interesting part, and I think this is where a lot of people might get confused. So they have different pledge levels. The first one's $79. The Fractured Lightning, you'll receive one copy of Aeons End, Legacy of Gravehold, including all stretch goals. Let's also back up a half second here for that. I have checked my local retail stores to see the cost of Aeons End Legacy as of right now with no promos included, so just the retail version, and I could find it between $62 and $71. So you obviously are going to be getting this cheaper at retail if you wait, minus those promos. So if those promos are worth $10 to $20 to you, that might be a reason as to why you would back it. But then they have additional pledge levels. So they have the Void Anchor. You will receive the game. I'm not going to read this every time, but you'll read one wave of content. As we go up in cost, it's going to be 2 waves of content, 3 waves of content, 4 waves of content, or $500, or not $500, $409 for 5 waves of content. What does that mean? What is 5 waves of content, 3 waves of content? If you're in some ways, you might think, oh, I'll be receiving content, throughout the lifespan of me owning this game. It's not how this works. What they have done is they've broken down 5 different pre-packaged pledge levels that you could select from. So if you're like, well, I want to, so you basically a la carte choose what you want, but it has to be within the structured system. So if you were doing this Temporal Strike for $269 for 3 waves of content, you would come down here. Not only are you getting the legacy game, the base game that we've already talked about, that's over here. Okay, you now have over here 3 copies of games that you can select. So you have wave 1. I could do, okay, I want wave 3 because that's the original legacy game. So I'll get these 2, and I'll get wave 5 because this has some expansions, and then I'll get wave 4 because this has other stuff that I'm interested in. That's the idea of how this works. Very different and very interesting, but you can see immediately right here is the reason why I have steered clear of this franchise. It's just a lot of stuff. I mean, I got to store all this stuff, and am I going to play all this stuff? They do say that the legacy cards are backwards compatible, so you can actually combine and play all this content together. Only thing I don't know, and I've been trying to find out, is can you play with these cards in the legacy game? I would assume you can't. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment section down below, because that will help me decide kind of if I decide to back this game or not, how I would do it. And then we have add-ons. The add-ons, I checked the FAQ to see if there's going to be any difference in cost with add-ons between now and the pledge manager. They didn't say anything, so I'm just going to assume that everything is going to stay at the same price, which is great. So you want to maintain your pledge levels low as possible, I think, until that happens. But we have a neoprene area playmat, $25. My problem with these is you have to make sure you get enough for the amount of people that you're going to be playing with. So down here they have $25 for the player mats. 2 mats 15 or 4 mats for 25, so that kind of gives you a better breakdown of what that cost may be if you were to play with all 4 players. We have accessory packs. They answer these questions at the accessory packs in the FAQ if you want some more questions on what these are specifically, because I haven't played the game. I don't necessarily know how they reference into the system, to be fully transparent. And then you have the reset pack. The $20 reset pack is going to basically take all of that legacy stuff that you have altered or destroyed from the game and set the game back to a standard gameplay so that you can play it again and enjoy the content as if you hadn't played it before. The promo packs, you could buy the promos right now for the Outcast for $10. Again, these were cards that were impossible to find. So unless you are, and you can't get into the pledge manager just to buy the promos. They also answer that in the FAQ. If you want to get add-ons, you have to select the pledge level first. So at minimum, you have to select the $79 pledge level if you want to pick up some of these accessories that you might have missed earlier. Okay, these promo packs. So there's plenty of stuff. I mean, there are so much content here that you have missed. And you could see that they value those exclusives about $5 to $10. So you can kind of get an idea of, in terms of how do you justify that cost for yourself. We talked about that mental cost. I understand that between $10 and $5 is the range. And then the shipping. Let's go on down to shipping. Now, I've read through this. It does say that shipping, in their eyes, taxes and shipping costs should be somewhat subsidized between all backers and all regions. So they're trying to do that to reduce the cost. And they're also including any VAT or taxes, sales tax, into the pledge here. So you should all be taken care of at that point. So just so you know, but I always tell people, make sure you double check all the small text, make sure there's nothing that comes up that could surprise you. All right, but $20 for US backers, and this is just for the base pledge, is fairly high. There's a lot of content here, and a lot of cards, a lot of weight included here with this one, but $20 is high for US backers, and you're looking up to almost $70 if you were to go all in and get everything. I mean, that's a lot of content, yes, but you're looking at $70. So if you're possible, is there a way to find this in other avenues? It might be cheaper to do that otherwise, because the shipping cost is a little ridiculous. So let's cut back to me, and I almost said fade to black again. We already learned to not do that. Let's cut back to me and let's have a conversation. Do I think it's worth it? I think this is one that's so close to being worth it, but it's like not worth it. If the promos and the exclusives are worth it to you, then I think it's a consideration to back this game. The shipping cost of $20 on top of the $80 pledge level, you're looking at $100. When you could pick up the game at retail right now at highest around $71 at my local stores. You could check your local stores to verify those prices, make sure they even have it in stock or see if they get them. But that's about a $25 to $30 discount that you're looking at there. So make sure you are considering that and see if those promos are worth that additional cost. I would also be looking at the waves, because you can get some of the stuff in retail right now. See if that wave content is worth it to increase your shipping on the alternative side. I think the system looks really good, and I would love to play this. I don't necessarily know if the pledge is worth the value comparatively to just getting it at retail. But that's my opinion, and I'm just, a guy on YouTube telling you what he thinks. So you guys could have a completely different opinion, and I would love to know in the comment section down below. For the giveaway today, let's change it up. Let's do hashtag. I was gonna say something stupid, but let's just do. Let's just do legacy. Hashtag legacy. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this. Am I off base in my opinion of this game's value, or where am I at? Let me know on what you guys think, because I'm kind of curious. I think the game looks really good, and I definitely want the game. But am I willing to spend an extra $30 in shipping costs that I don't necessarily need to incur just for $10 to $15 in promo cards? I don't know about that. So something to consider. Tomorrow's episode after this one will be going live is Root. That has already been pre-recorded and ready to go. But unfortunately, to keep to the schedule, we're going to have one after the other. So the first upload will be this one. Then the next upload will be Root. If you want to see some early information, you can check out Board Game Co. He's also recorded a Root video, which I think should be live as of right now at the time of this recording. So definitely check it out. That's about it. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to support the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do everything to help the YouTube algorithm, because I would really appreciate your guys' support. I will talk to you all very soon.